Well, hello there folks. Today we are going to be having a look at those free farmable classes that you can go along and pick up in-game. This is purely a list for players who maybe might have missed some classes, missed some updates and want to try and catch up. The video is broken down into solo classes, support classes, and then farming classes. I'll also put them up on screen in order of the way I probably go about farming them, which is solely based on how much I actually use them and find them helpful in just real game scenarios. I will be looking to also cover mid-game classes in a separate video and early game ones. This is not a walkthrough video and it is not a class review video. I've done those on the majority of these classes, so go check those videos out. I will be using a difficulty star scale, so the easier ones will be 1 star and then the trickier ones will be 5. And spoiler alert, there's going to be quite a lot of 5-star ones in this video. We're starting off with solo classes and King's Echo. This one is at Join Tamina Temple. It's brand new. If you haven't yet farmed it, I definitely would. Ever since I got this class, I have not used Void High Lord, which is quite a statement. I really like it. The farm for it isn't that bad. Certainly that is the case when you compare it to many of the other ones that are going to be coming up as we go throughout this video. Next up though is going to be Void High Lord. This one is very high on the difficulty rating, especially if you are a free player and you are someone that doesn't like ultras, because there is an ultra shortcut when you're trying to farm Void High Lord nowadays. Otherwise, there's even more Nulgath regions that you need to go along and grab. But with the additions of the Rip-Off Emporium, you can buy gold your way through quite a lot of the farm. Here we have Varus Doomlight over at Tamina Temple. This one, again, is quite a tricky one to go along and farm. You've got a lot of fairly low drop rate items. The main issue that a lot of these classes will suffer with when you're going along grinding for them is if you're behind the curve, you will find yourself alone at quite a lot of the maps, which is what really does slow them down. We then have got Chaos Avenger. This is at Join Champion Dracoth. This one will require you to defeat an ultra. You have got no way around it. You will need to be defeating Champion Dracoth. As getting the insignias are weekly, you are going to need a minimum of 4 weeks to be able to go through and complete that class. So just bear that in mind if you want. Next up, we have got Arcana Invoker at Join Arcana. This is a class that I farmed and I've never used since, and to be honest, I went along and got it for badge purposes. It is also a relatively complex class to use, and if you are going to farm this the non-insignia method, it in my opinion is pretty horrific. I think worst case, just stick to farming Ultra Drago insignias if you're not comfortable with going along and doing Darkon. Okie dokes, next up we have got Lich. You can only get this as a free player on Friday the 13th events. The reason I've given this one 5 stars for difficulty is because one of the items you need to go along and farm requires rank 10 Grimskull Trolling, and that rep is horrible to farm. Honestly, it was the worst experience farming rep I think I've ever done, and I never wish to repeat it. On that note, let us move on. We have now got Hollowborn Vindicator, another new one, and if you would like to farm for it, you will need to join Ultra Gramuel Hub and get yourself 4 Condensed Graces. There are 2 different ways you can go about doing this. Again, you have got an Ultra method if you'd like to go along defeating Ultra Gramuel for insignias, or there is a much longer way which does require, again, another weekly quest. As it is weekly quests, you will need 4 weeks to stack this one up to be able to grab yourself the class. They did recently do class changes to it. I've not used it since the changes. Prior to that, it was a bit underwhelming, but it may be improved by now. This is a class that some people didn't realise you could actually farm as a free player, but it's Yami no Ronin at Join Dark Alley. Now, I tell you something, this is one of those that I probably wouldn't farm as a free player, just out of preference, because the quest to go along and get the Blade Master Scroll is a bit nasty. That's the bit if you are a member of the Legion, you're able to get around. However, if you're not, then you will be stuck not being able to farm Legion tokens, and instead you're going to have to do this Legion Sword training quest on top of everything else that you need to go along and gather to complete that particular quest chain. Next up, we are looking at something which is a lot easier to pick up. It is going to be Alpha Doom Omega. Again, one that has recently been buffed. I did a review on it only a few weeks ago. I love Alpha Doom Omega. This is really quite a viable option to use if you're someone that doesn't want to go long doing really long end game grinds, and you can use this quite freely in the end game as a soloer if you would like to. Chaos Slayer at Join Mount Doomskull. You can get this once you get rank 10 Chaos, and have also completed pretty much the whole Chaos saga essentially. It's good though, there's 4 different variants of the same class that are all equally the same, so it doesn't really matter which one of those you pick. It does extra damage against Chaos monsters, so it's incredibly good if you're fighting anything Chaos related, and it's not too bad at soloing on its own, but it's not quite in the S tier when it's by itself, but it is still a viable option if, again, you want something that's a bit easier to pick up. Next up is join Dart Throne Hub, and we're now onto the support classes. Archpaladin is a great class. It is pretty much a staple of most Ultra battles, and it's used in majority of comps when you're going along for support purposes. You could also use it soloing and farming if you really wanted to, so it's a good multi-purpose class and one you will want to go along and farm for. Next up is going to be Lord of Order at Join Battle Off. This one has got a series of quests that you need to work your way through. However, each of these are complete once per day. So in order to get away to the final challenge, you are going to need quite a few days, but you can go along and you'll unlock the next quest each day. So you can just progress through them like that until you get your Lord of Order class. You definitely need that if you're going to be ultering at any point in the future. Next up, one of my all-time favourites, Stone Crusher. You will notice how I don't actually have Bright Oak Rep to be able to buy this one. That's because years ago, I bought it for 2,000 ACs when I was much younger and didn't really go along farming things. So as a result, we never bothered doing that. But you'll need Bright Oak Rep. You'll also need Mythsong and Arken Grove to pick up Stone Crusher. It's not too bad getting Bright Oak. You can literally do it here. If you went along and did these 2 boss quests, you can just repeat them. Plenty of rep, and if you stick some boosts on and do it when it's boosted, you'll be able to pick up Stone Crusher nice and easily. I love it. It's one of my favourite classes. You can also solo with it if you wanted to. Next up is Arachnomancer, and the only class in this entire video I don't actually own. So this one I can't say overly much about it because I've been coming from an unfair place, but my understanding it is a tanky support. It's from Dash Join Ravenloss, and you will need rank 10 on the rep for Ravenloss to be able to go along and pick that up. Here we've got another seasonal, and it is going to be Frostval Barbarian. This one is from Join Frostvale, and you need to complete the Unleash the Frostival Barbarian quest. It's a really nice little class. It's a good support. It can be used for farming if you wanted to, and you'll see it used from time to time. We are now onto our farming classes, and here we have got Archfiend. This is the first one up. It is at Join Turkaskunima Lottalalim, and you'll need an Abyssal Contract, which will require quite a lot of Nulgath farming to be able to go along and grab anything that requires Nulgath farming. We're going on the presumption you have no farming pets and maybe not the biggest abundance of gold potentially. So yeah, it could take you a little while to do your Void Promotion quest. Here we've got Join Time In for the Dragon of Time. I can't show you the exact quest because I've completed it, but you can speak to Kronar and work your way through them. As with all these, there is a guide that I made years ago for this particular quest chain, and once you get there, you get yourself a lovely class that can be used for multiple purposes. And lastly, and certainly not least, is going to be Archmage. I don't really ever use Archmage. It is a really good farming class. It is really powerful, but it just doesn't really suit me, to be honest with you. But it's there, and it does have a Charpage badge if you'd like to go along and farm for it, and that is the same as we saw a second ago with Dragon of Time. The only other class to really mention at this point is going to have to be Healer. You can get this for free. You can obviously pick it at the start of the game, or you can go pick it up from the trainers if you really wanted. Healer is actually a very viable class to use in the endgame if you so choose. Anyway folks, as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video and found it useful if you're trying to find some farms to do and maybe some classes you've missed along the way. As always, I've probably missed things. Maybe I'll do a part 2 to this if people start screaming at me in the comments for something really obvious. But as we know, there's a lot of class in this game and a lot to remember. We'll be back very soon to do the mid-game and also the early game classes that would be worth picking up for players, maybe at different stages in the game. Until next time, have a lovely day, and I'll see you all again incredibly soon.